So the Clippers are a poverty franchise who sent Chris Paul home at 3 a.m. in the morning, and Giannis might be a New York Knick. Before I get into the video, I do want to say, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, this has been a very loaded NBA season, a lot of news, and we got some more. So you might as well leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy these types of videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I'm making videos like this for the rest of the season and to the off season. So let's lock in. But that's all I got. Let's get right into the video. All right, y'all see the screen. So here's my point of view, right? I wake up at like 6 a.m. because I'm finna go to the gym, and I see a report talking about Chris Paul has been sent home by the Los Angeles Clippers. Actually, I seen like the story screenshot of Chris Paul saying like I've been sent home, like they are sending me home. I'm like, what? Then as I do more research, because this happened at 3 a.m. in the morning, like word to, I was knocked out at 3 a.m. in the morning because it's a Tuesday. Why would I not be asleep? I see Chris Paul, the post. I see all these different sources confirming it, and them talking about it all over Twitter. And at first, I'm like, this is horrible. This is a horrible move. The Clippers were bad. And this is my immediate reaction before I get into everything else. The Clippers are horrible. The Clippers have been horrendous this season. I talked about it in my version of NBA Weekly that I released yesterday. So I went into depth about how bad the Clippers are and what makes them bad. But the Clippers, in short, are like the second worst team in the Western Conference. They look very old. None of the players on the team look like they are very good except for James Harden. And yeah, they suck. The Clippers are underwhelming, very underwhelming this season and underperforming, right? And they're bad. So sending Chris Paul home makes no sense because Chris Paul is not the reason why they're bad. Chris Paul don't even play half the time. He don't even get out there and play because he's not really like that good. He'll play every once in a while. Like I've seen them put him in like at the end of games, and I think they tried to play him a little bit at the start of the season, but he has not been good this season when he's on the court because he's old, bro. Chris Paul is 40 years old, so it makes sense why. I mean, it doesn't make sense as to why you would release him. Like, this don't even make sense at all. So then some more stuff comes out, right? Because already this doesn't look good at all. So more stuff comes out. Wait, that's not a real thing. Here's the reason behind Chris Paul leaving. Chris Paul and his leadership style clashed with the Clippers. Sources tell ESPN Paul has been vocal in holding management, coaches, and players accountable, which the team felt became disruptive. Specifically, Ty Lue was not on speaking terms with Paul for several weeks. This is horrendous. You telling me that Chris Paul is holding you guys accountable? Because, bro, they suck. They suck, and he's in the building, so he probably has a pretty good idea as to why he sucks. He's just telling y'all that y'all suck. How he went about it, I don't know. I don't know Chris Paul as a person, but I would like to think he didn't say anything crazy, right? Like, he's not over here threatening people and saying something about the livelihood of people or, talking about their family or saying anything outrageous. He's probably just like, yo, like, y'all suck, right? But then again, I don't know Chris Paul personally. But this doesn't make sense. You bring in a vet, Chris Paul, somebody who's been to the NBA Finals, been to the conference finals, somebody who has a lot of experience. He's been in the league for a long time, longer than some people have been alive who watch the NBA now, who are in college, who are in the NBA. Wait, I don't know. Well, you might be that old. Regardless. And you telling me that you're mad at the way he's leading? How is he supposed to lead? You're on a team. Any great team holds each other accountable. They talk. Bro, I've been on plenty of sports teams, basketball, football, baseball, soccer. Any great sports team has coaches that coach that hold everybody accountable. And the main thing, and any player will tell you this, any type of high-level, high-achieving team will tell you this, the main teams that win is because the players are holding each other accountable. Coaching is great and all of that, but the mind that the players have and the way the players communicate with each other is a big reason as to why teams usually end up being like good. It's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So then some more stuff comes out. And I think this is the most damning part, honestly, right? Weeks ago, Chris Paul requested to have a meeting with Tyronn Lue to discuss the allegations of being a negative presence on the team. Lue refused to meet with him. Lawrence Frank traveled to Atlanta to deliver news of parting ways, and Paul desired his final season to meet the Clippers. Of course, we all knew that, but this is horrible This is probably why we heard rumblings of the coach. I mean, of Tyronn Lue possibly leaving, but probably not, right? Because it seems like everybody in the higher up, they're kind of more so on Chris Paul's side. I mean, on Tyronn Lue's side, like they don't really rock with bro. And that's why I have this up because this is essentially what the org is saying. Chris Paul was trying to win, and that did not align with our organization expectation. Now, this is not real, guys. This is not. This is from NBA Centel. Oh my goodness, they got me. They got me over here with Grok, yo. This is from NBA Centel. Okay, it's a parody account. All right, this is not a real statement, but it might as well be like. But doesn't you suck? The Clippers are ass. The Clippers are not a good team at all. They're one of the worst teams in the league after coming to the season with high expectations to at least be a playoff team. So Chris Paul is sitting up here being vocal, being Chris Paul, telling people like what they need to do, trying to figure out how people can get better, trying to make the team better. And y'all say we don't like that. Just get him out of here. And he tries to go out and have a conversation with the head coach. And this just makes me kind of mad. Because he tried to go out and have a conversation, a face-to-face conversation with Tyronn Lue. Hey, I've heard y'all are saying I'm a negative influence on the team. Why am I hearing this? What is going on? And you don't hold the meeting with them? You don't, like, respond to him at all? And not only that, you don't tell him to his face. You don't tell him to his face. You get somebody to fly out to him in Atlanta, or maybe they even called him. Be like, yo, we don't want you no more at 3 a.m. That's classless. That's unprofessional. That sucks. That's horrible in the whole organization, bro. Top to bottom. And even if the players didn't like it, main things that I have been seeing has been like Chris Paul. I mean, like the higher ups and the executives not really liking it. But I don't see it because Chris Paul just started 82 games for the Spurs last season and played like pretty decent. Like he wasn't Chris Paul that we know it as, but he was pretty straight. Everything was straight there. We didn't hear anything. He was on the team the whole season, and they kept him. So I don't think he went to the Clippers and just became some like dickhead or nothing like that. Like that just does not make sense. So why are you? This is horrible by the Clippers. And honestly, if I'm Chris Paul, you know where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go to the OKC Thunder. I would go to the OKC Thunder, the 21-1 OKC Thunder, and shoot, bro, sign me on for like a little vet minimum. Let me finish out my career here, possibly get a championship that I've always desired, right? Especially just as a big fu to the Clippers because, bro, the way they handled it, it's one thing to like release him, be like, hey, like, I mean, it really makes no sense why they release him, like honestly and truthfully, but. As any type of player should not be handled this way, but especially a guy who has such a big purpose to your organization. He is your franchise GOAT. I cannot name another player in Clippers history who was more impactful than Chris Paul. Bring up Paul George. Bring up Kawhi Leonard. I don't care what they've done in those 5 years that they've been there. It's not equivalent to what Chris Paul did in the time that he was there. It's not. Not at all. Not at all, bro. So yeah, man, the Clippers they're horrible. That's really all I had to say on that. But gotta talk about some more. I could have made this 2 videos, but I don't know. I didn't want to make this 2 videos. Here's the second thing. Woo! Here's the biggest thing. Well, not the biggest thing. Well, it probably is the biggest thing. Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex have started future conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time NBA MVP's future, discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Then we have more news that comes out. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Then we have more news that comes out. Brian Windhorst reveals Giannis already asked for a trade from the Bucks before the season even started, and then we have another one. Giannis Antetokounmpo gave the Bucks a 25-game window to show signs of competing in the Eastern Conference. And there was another one, and oh my goodness. Dang, bro. I don't know where I can find it. There's another one. Oh, wait, actually, hello. Yeah. There's actually another one, too. Brian Windhorst says it'll be interesting it'd be Giannis instructing the Bucks where he wants to be traded, and the Bucks trying to make the best possible deal with that team. In the summer, he basically said, "I want to be a Knick." So this is very interesting for a lot of reasons. We knew last year Giannis started to grow, let's say, a bit disgruntled with the Bucks organization as a whole. right? They were bad. They traded away. I mean, they released Dame over the all season, brought in Miles Turner. Not an equivalent thing. The roster construction is very bad. Kyle Kuzma isn't really that good. You traded away one of his best friends, and well, I'm not gonna say best friends, but one of his best running mate in Chris Middleton, and you have just kind of broken down this team ever since you guys won the championship in 2021, and have not made it back to the. I don't even think they made it back to the conference finals since then. So Giannis has become disgruntled. He's made it very well known that he's disgruntled. And as we can see here, he has made it well known that he wants to be a Knick. Now, here's the thing, though. It has been well known. Giannis hasn't said it directly, and he even hasn't even come out and said it directly here, but it has been well known for a while that Giannis has been disgruntled, and teams are putting in offers. But the main issue you have to deal with Giannis is the fact that Giannis is so good, and the Bucks are so great of organization. Not great of organization, but the Bucks are in control, right? So for Giannis, like, yeah, Giannis, I want to be a Knick. Well, who do they trade? Okay, we're gonna trade Mikal Bridges. We're gonna trade like Miles McBride. We're gonna trade all these people. Anthony Towns. We're gonna trade all of these people to get Giannis. By the time you get done with that trade, you have depleted almost half of your roster. Like the players that you would want Giannis around, you've given them away. You've given away a lot of like draft capital as well. And at that point, is it really even worth trading for Giannis? That is the main thing with these bigger people like a Luka. Even though Luka got traded for pennies on a dollar. When it comes to like a Luka, when it came to like a James Harden, when it comes to all of these big names, these top of the line players, you want to trade? Okay, yeah, they come out and ask for a trade, but what these teams would have to give up, it would be pointless, right? It would literally be pointless. The only team that I can really think that could put together a competent trade package for Giannis and still have their team like together for the most part, like actually still be able to compete is the Thunder. And if you're the Thunder, you're 21-1. Why would you want to bring Giannis in? This just does not. I don't really know where this is gonna go. I'm not going to say Giannis isn't going to get traded because one thing I have found out in my time of being a fan of the NBA is something always happens, something always breaks. There's always some big name superstars going to become available. I thought it was going to be Trae Young. I thought this Giannis stuff was just smoking. It was going to go out the way very soon because, like I said, there's no realistic way that Giannis gets traded. But clearly Giannis wants out. Clearly Giannis is saying free me. The only issue with saying free me is the fact that you want to go to the Knicks would have to give up so much of their roster, and you can't control where you want to go. You cannot control where you want to go. You're locked in the contract, all this type of stuff. So, like, you have the leverage because you're Giannis, but you don't at the same time because, like, it's like, what would you really want to do? So maybe this ends up blowing under the rug, but, hey, bro, it's December. Trade deadline is in February. So it's a long time, and there's a lot of potential in what can happen with this whole Giannis situation because it's honestly insane. Now, the teams off the top of my head I think should be looking at Giannis. The Hawks. I think if you're a Hawk, if you are the general manager of the Hawks, you should be ringing the phone. Say, hey, listen, what you want? You want Trae Young? You want Jalen Johnson? What you want? I think the Hawks would be a good team to look at for Giannis. I'm trying to think of other teams around the league I've seen the Spurs. I think Wemby and Giannis would be a nightmare front court duo. So we can put the Spurs down there. You want Stephon Castle, all these guys. Outside of that, maybe AD. Maybe Dallas. I don't really know. I don't know if Dallas could put a trade package that would intrigue the Bucks enough to be like, yeah, like we'll give away Giannis. It's definitely gonna. This isn't something that we're gonna wake up tomorrow and Giannis is traded. I can tell you that much because it's just so much that you have to put into a trade package. Honestly, it's probably going to be a multiple team trade. Honestly, just for the Bucks to fully get what they want, and for whatever team gets the benefit of receiving Giannis to get whatever they want. Right? Yeah, bro. Wild day in the NBA. And all this would happen the day after I release NBA Weekly. But it's December, bro, so we upload another video. It's December, we upload another video. And yeah, bro, the Clippers are classless and they're a horrible organization. And yeah, they suck. And Giannis wants to get traded. I don't know where he's going to go. That's really all I got, though. These are all my opinions on what has transpired today. I will be uploading stuff like this all season. So like I said, go ahead, leave a like on the video and subscribe. Until next time.